Build that pipe, they're yelling. That is a scene from a rally recently in Grand Prairie, Alberta, full of people who rely on the oil and gas industry to make a living and feel they've been abandoned by the Trudeau government. So now they're organizing a full-on convoy of trucks from Western Canada to the steps of Parliament Hill, and it's set to arrive in mid-February. The movement is picking up supporters along the way. A group of yellow vesters, many with controversial opinions on other issues, including migrants, are also taking up the pipeline cause and plan to join the convoy. But here's the thing, a lot of Canadians are happy the Trans Mountain Pipeline is on hold. It could be months before that project moves forward. And this is one big reason why convoy organizers are hoping that this cross-country trek might change that. They're hoping to influence public opinion. Joining me now from Calgary is Cody Battershill. He's founder of Canada Action. It's a volunteer group that's a big part of the convoy. So, Cody, we've seen there's been a lot of protests, a lot of rallies in Western Canada. Why do you feel the need to take this to Ottawa?
You know, we feel like we need to make sure that this conversation is continuing to reach all parts of the country. It's very important that we're promoting pipelines, we're promoting a balanced conversation about our energy sector, and getting people out in trucks, in person, is a great way to make sure that people can contribute and have their voices be heard.
Do you feel you're not being listened to now?
Well, I think over the last 10 years, you know, we haven't built any new pipelines. There's been a lot of energy associations, executives, First Nations, and investors with concerns on Bill C-69 as one example. So we feel like we do need to take this to Ottawa and continue to raise our voices.
Justin Trudeau, he's promised $1.6 billion in help for people in the oil patch. He's come up with more than $4 billion to help eventually build that pipeline. Is that not important to help?
You know, Canada Action is nonpartisan, but we do talk about policy, and unfortunately there's just been a number of policies from the current federal government that have not been supporting the men and women that work in our energy sector. The $1.6 billion sounds good, but it is not what's needed, and we need further action. We need to see the government listening to, again, the experts in the energy industry and in the resource sector, First Nations and investors on this file.
How difficult is it for families in the oil patch right now?
You know, Calgary, I believe, has the highest unemployment in the country. The downtown office vacancy rate's about 33%. You've seen some of the largest buildings, their value has dropped in half. And so now you're redistributing that tax base to small businesses. We're seeing restaurants close, foreclosures, employment insurance, bankruptcies, and other really sad stories in society. And it doesn't need to be this way. Oil demand internationally is growing, and we need to get our pipelines built so we can get the best price for our oil and natural gas.
Some people involved in the Yellow Vest movement have been part of these rallies. They're joining the convoy. You've been very clear that that's not part of your group. Why do you want to make that distinction?
Well, Canada Action, I've been doing this for many years now, and our basis has always been positive, inclusive, fact-driven, respectful, and nonpartisan. And we're focused on creating more of a national conversation about the importance of our resource sector, which we feel is the sort of bedrock of Canada's national prosperity. We want to talk about those issues. We do not want to get distracted or to talk about other issues.
Like the migrant issue? Is that the one that bothers you?
You know, there's been many things said by people wearing yellow vests that I think are horrible. And, you know, there's no room for racism. There's no room for some of the slogans and some of the signs that we've seen in our country and in this conversation. So we need to focus on the women and men that work in this sector that need to put food on the table and stay focused on this issue. Canadian energy is a good news story for our national economy and for the global environment. We got to stay focused on being positive, respectful, and nonpartisan.
We'll be watching. Thanks so much, Cody.
Thank you very much.
Cody Battershill, he's the founder of Canada Action and part of that convoy.